Good morning, everybody. My name's Brendan Godley. I'm a Professor of Conservation Science and here at the University of Exeter in our Cornwall campus in Penryn. And I'm delighted to be the Programme Director for our forthcoming Masters in Marine Vertebrate Ecology and Conservation. This is a brand new Masters that builds on 15 years of experience that we've had running Masters degrees down here. I'm the Programme Director for Conservation and Biodiversity. So we have a great track record of running Masters here in Penryn, and we're just really looking forward to doing this one on marine vertebrate ecology conservation. In today's Facebook Live, we want to distill the essence of the new degree and also introduce you to some of the key parts of the new programme, also to give you insights into what it's like to be a Master's student here at the university through the eyes of students and that are interested in marine issues. And we have Catherine, Rachel, Eric and Emily here. They're off shot at the moment, but we'll introduce them in a moment. And they'll give you insights into what they're doing with regard to their Master's projects this year and this forthcoming summer, and also insights into the life here and how they've settled in. We want your questions, so any questions you have, send them. We will try and answer them live. If we can't answer them live, we'll get to them after the fact, but we really want you to be able to answer those questions to help you make an informed choice. So, everything about the new degree is on the web, but just to give you a few highlights, we'll be building on our research strengths and our network of collaborators both in the UK and around the world. And the key core modules that are new for this degree are one in seminars in marine vertebrate ecology and conservation, where you will hear from all of our academics that are involved in this domain and some of our honorary staff in other organisations and external practitioners about ecology and conservation of fish, including sharks, seabirds, sea turtles and marine mammals. As part of that module, you'll also learn some of the key academic skills using the materials that you're learning in that module. And then in partnership with that module, we'll have a module called Skills in Marine Vertebrate Ecology and Conservation, where we'll actually get real good skills, CV points for future careers, whether they be academic or applied. We'll be looking at marine mammal rescue, marine vertebrate necropsy, tracking and biologging, baited remote underwater video, passive acoustic monitoring for marine mammals, and all students will become qualified and trained marine mammal observers. As part of that, we'll be doing fieldwork in Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly and interacting with practitioners in our very special region here in the UK. Students will also learn stats, whether they like it or not, because they're essential for ecology and conservation. And then there are a group of optional modules including marine biodiversity and conservation, conservation leadership and GIS, amongst others. So it's all there on the web, but it gives you the essence and the excitement of what the top modules are. Keep your questions coming. Then, of course, a big part of our degrees, half of our degrees here for our Master's programmes are the research projects. And the projects will be very exciting, some lab, some field, some desk-based studies, very important policy-based studies, generated by the staff, by our external partners or by the students themselves. But an important underpinning principle that we have here is that every single research project student has an academic supervisor here on campus, even if they have supervisors in projects where they've worked before or with our partner organisations. But lots of exciting projects, and just to give you a list of some of the amazing organisations that are engaged with our programmes already and ever more engaged with this marine vertebrate ecology and conservation. We're engaging with Cornwall Wildlife Trust, Cornwall Seal Conservation Trust, the inshore fisheries and conservation agencies here in Cornwall in the southwest. More widely in the UK, the Shark Trust, the Whale and Dolphin Conservation, Marine Conservation Society, Marine Life, and our very close partners, Plymouth Marine Laboratories. And then with a more global and international view, we've got the British Antarctic Survey engaged, Mar Alliance working around Central America and the Caribbean, Pro Delphinis working in the Pacific Ocean in Peru, the Sea Turtle Conservancy, mostly based in Costa Rica, the Society for the Protection of Turtles in Cyprus in the Mediterranean, and the Seychelles Island Foundation. So lots there for all of the kind of students that we were hoping to attract to this new degree. So I'm now going to stand aside and invite the students to come up all together, and then they're going to go through one at a time, give you a little bit of outline of them and their projects. So up you come, guys. Don't be shy. Are we okay in Spain? There we go. Right. So.
Hi, my name is Catherine. I'm originally from Jamaica, and I studied marine biology at Boston University. Now here at Exeter, I'm doing the Masters in Conservation Science and Policy. And my research project, I'll be working with the Plymouth Marine Lab, especially with Anna Kiros and James Clark, in conjunction with Brendan and David March here at Exeter. So we'll be looking at megavertebrates, microplastics, and climate change using a modelling approach.
So I'm Rachel, I'm from Reading, and I previously did a geography degree at the University of Bristol. I'm now about to start studying conservation, a Masters in Conservation and Biodiversity here at the University of Exeter. And I'm about to start a research project working on sediments which have been collected by sea turtle projects all around the world, looking at microplastic distribution and relationships with sediment particles from around 200 different sites.
So hi everyone, my name is Eric and I am from Hong Kong. So I studied my undergrad at the Polytechnic University in Hong Kong. It's about the environment and sustainable development. And now I'm here studying the MSc of Conservation and Biodiversity. So for my research project, I am in partnership with the Society for the Protection of Marine Turtles in Cyprus. So what we're looking for is we are looking at the dietary items inside sea turtles' guts to analyze what they ingest before they die. So after that, we can look into what's the relationship of stranded marine turtles and fishery by catch.
Hi, my name's Emily and I'm originally from Suffolk, but for half of my life I've been lucky enough to live in North Cornwall. My undergraduate was in marine biology at the University of Plymouth, and now I'm on the Conservation Science and Policy course here at Exeter. My research project is with Amy Murray and Angus Buckling here at the university, and I'm looking at bacterial growth on microplastics and whether they select for growth of pathogenic, invasive or antibiotic-resistant bacteria.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thanks for joining us today and also giving us insights into these exciting projects you're about to embark upon. We're now going to start taking questions that people want answered. And so the first one we have is for Eric. Could you please talk to us about your experiences as an international student since September?
Yes, of course. So as an international student here, I remember for the first few weeks when I came here, I was very worried about like what to do or what am I going to do or where I'm going to do. But luckily, we've got a lot of very nice and kind staff. Brendan is one of them, who is very willing to help on everything in terms of academic or like personal life. And I remember for the first few weeks when I came here, so I have to deal with a lot of documents, visas, a lot of stuff. But basically, they help us a lot. They have a lot of introductory and welcoming program to tell you like what you need to do, like what you need to hand in, what you need to do for your visa or documents. So basically, there's nothing you need to worry about. And I know that there are other international students who are a bit worried about, because their English is not their first language. But very luckily, we have different English program here where you can practice your oral English, or if you have any problem regarding your English academic writing, you can ask the staff. They are all willing to help you. So I think it's a very good experience here in terms of an international student.
Thank you very much, Eric. Rachel, we've got a question. Is like, what's student life like in Cornwall?
I mean, it's a pretty amazing place to live. You've got so many beaches all around the coast of Cornwall. One of my favourites, definitely Vertebrate, where you can see sort of hundreds of seals if you pick the right day and the right tide times. But then you've also got Falmouth just down the road, You can get there by train, you can get there by bus, you could probably walk if you really wanted to. And you've got Guinea Beach there where you can go and hang out with friends, have a beach barbecue. And if you're interested, there is a little bit of a nightlife going on around here in Falmouth, if that's what you want to do. And it's a really amazing place to live, really.
Great, thank you. I agree, I like living in Cornwall. 15 years and I haven't lost my accent yet. Catherine, can you talk to us about student societies?
I can actually. So when I first came during Freshers Week, they had all of the different societies kind of on display, so you could choose, try them out. They did different taster sessions. I ended up joining a couple of some in EcoSoc, Marine Watch, and I recently joined Touch Rugby, which is interesting. It's really good. I love it so far. But anything that you want to be involved in, there's always something. From yoga to reading to chess, there's always something there.
Great. Good to know you've got some time on your hands outside assessment.
A little bit.
Emily, how did you come to choose to study here at the University of Exeter?
Well, the University of Exeter is just renowned to be a hub of sustainability, and that really stood out to me, especially the research coming out of the University for Marine Conservation, marine plastics, which is a particular passion of mine. And since coming here, I've been able to see what a brilliant decision it actually was, because not only is the content of what we're actually being taught incredible, but also there are so many opportunities for networking and making such crucial connections with all of the guest speakers that are coming in to see us. So it's a phenomenal place to study, and I'm learning so much every single day.
Okay, great. So there's a few questions which are a wee bit process related, which I can answer. The first is, can I work part-time while studying? And the answer is yes, but you just have to be careful. I think in the first semester, maybe the students would agree, the workload's quite heavy because we have a lot of modules quite intensively taught in the first term and then the start of the second term. That's to free us up to be able to do our research projects March all the way through till September. So you can work, especially if you do a Cornwall-based project. I would say that's one of the ways that part-time working would be more tractable. But any questions like that in more detail, I, as the programme director, I'm happy to converse on email about. What's the difference between this programme and conservation and biodiversity? You're right to note the similarities. We're building on something which is a great strength and creating a marine vertebrate specialist pathway through there. So with the new core modules, the theoretical and the practical skills, but we already had many excellent students that were doing marine vertebrate related things, that wanted marine vertebrate related careers. So we already had a lot of stuff that was suitable for them, and we'll be drawing on those parts, like the GIS, which is largely marine focused, for instance. And then the last one is how much time throughout the year is spent on the research project. So you choose and you're allocated a supervisor, your research project before Christmas, and then you're thinking about it over Christmas, most of the time, but not all of the time, hopefully. And then once you come back after Christmas, we start preparing our literature review, preparing a presentation that you get feedback on your plan. And then from the 1st of March, more or less, everybody is working full-time on their dissertation all the way through to the end of the year. So we specifically design it so that people can go away to do a research project, or even if they're here and they're working in the lab or in the field, they can spend a great deal of time and do a great job. And many of our students, and I actually have a list if anybody wants to see it, many of our students publish their master's dissertations, and of course that helps springboard them on to great things. So, question from Hannah. How many places are there available on the course? We don't have a firm quota for the moment, but we're already receiving deposits from students who applied early. So we will eventually have to close it. I don't think it'll be closed this week, but I would get your application in. From Emily, are there any scholarships available for the course? There are some scholarships available for all of our master's programmes, and actually if you follow the link, I think it's funding or scholarships, there's a link on the web page for the degree programme that you can see. And we have another, I'm just being reminded from the right hand side here, we have a new scholarship specifically targeted towards students from North America, USA and Canada. Right. Oh, yes, another question for me, sorry guys, I was hoping that, can you please send some questions for our students? So from Harry, who's currently working with marine megafauna, is it possible to do a research project with this course using his project, his data? Yes. The only thing we would say is that we just need to explore, is there enough data, are there enough data? Is the question good enough? Are we going to end up with a robust project? And if that is the case, and your partnership in the organisation you're currently working is happy for you to do a research project with the data, we will find you a supervisor. And you're talking about manta rays and whale sharks, sounds fantastic. As long as there's enough data there, you can do your project on that and we'll have a supervisor for you. So, how far is the sea from here? Can one of you answer that?
Well, I mean, I think if we stand in the right place in this room, you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not today. Not today. But so,
Yeah.
how far is our distance?
Yeah, well, Penryn, we're just on the outskirts of Penryn, and Penryn is estuarine, and so it's less than a mile from here. And if you live in Falmouth, most students are living less than a mile away from a decent beach. So you can be at the seaside and get your blue mind on every night after uni and every weekend. Question from Anon. What is the support like from lecturers? Who would like to volunteer that one?
Well, for me, I've had phenomenal support from the lecturers because I wanted to self-generate a research project. So all of the research projects that were put out for students to choose were phenomenal. All of them were just so interesting. But I wanted to go quite specific with mine, which involved having to meet with lots of different academics on the campus. And luckily I found two amazing supervisors that were willing to support me through this. But every single academic that I met with to discuss my project would give me such positive feedback and comments to help grow my own idea into an actual project that it is today. So in terms of self-generating and asking for advice on actual projects, then it's incomparable.
Great. So, there's a question, it might be from Becky, but what's the accommodation like on campus? And I would add a rejoinder, maybe if you could say where you guys live, and to give students an idea of the diversity of possibilities.
So I still live at home in North Cornwall, because it was really important for me to continue some of the stuff that I was doing alongside my master's course. I worked for an NGO that I co-founded called Beach Guardian, and so that means every day I commute in, which is about an hour here, an hour back, which actually isn't bad at all. It flies by, you just put ABBA on and just drive in. But it's really handy for me, and I'm still able to take part in societies, go out with my friends in Falmouth. So if you're looking to do that and commute in every day, then it's totally doable, and it's great.
So for me, I live in the accommodation over by the university, so I think I can tell you a little bit more about that. So the accommodation I'm living here, it's very nice, and in terms of location, because it's basically near the campus, so actually you can go to the campus in 5 minutes walk, so it's very convenient. And the accommodation inside, we've got all the essential stuff. We've got our own bed, our own bathroom. If you can choose cater or self-cater or cater, different ones. And you have a kitchen, and you've got, I think one thing that I'm mostly impressed about is because we have to share a flat with around 6 or 8 other students, and they all come from different places. I've got several British, and I've got Americans, and I've got a student come from Middle East. So basically, it's a mix of different cultures. So actually, you can have a lot of different talks to them. So it's a very nice accommodation, I think.
Nice.
Yeah. I live on university accommodation that's about 10-15 minute walk in Penryn. It's really handy, it's really close to the train station. I live with about I live with 6 other people in a big block of flats, and it's really nice. We've got a big kitchen, living room area, and it's quite handy to walk onto campus as well, especially in the first term when you've got a lot of stuff going on. So it's good. I think it's good to be close to person.
Catherine?
So I live off campus, but it's pretty close, about 20-25 minutes away. So I just walk to campus. So we're lucky location-wise, and it wasn't too hard to find. So if you want to live off campus as well, there's that option. But you need to kind of look around a lot, because we had to call a lot of different places before we found a suitable place. So that's one thing to keep in mind.
Yeah, great. I've been asked to say one last call for questions. We're now going to move on to Neil. Neil asks the panelists how they found PGT study in comparison to their undergraduate. Who would like to answer that?
I guess I'm more kind of, but like, I guess it's another step up in terms of the academic learning. I've come from a different uni, so obviously that in itself is a whole different experience. But it's a smaller community as well, and the field trips that we do mean that you get to know people. You become a sort of a small cohort of people that you walk around campus and you're like, hey, how are you, and stuff, and have a chat with those people. The step up in, like I say, the step up in academic work it's a step up. It's always going to be for a master's. But everything you're doing is really interesting, really engaging, and I think it's a really good idea to go and do one if you can.
From Emily, is there support available for those that have been out of academic environment for a few years?
That might be for me.
Catherine?
So I came back into academia this year after I've been working for a number of years in Spain, and then I just really wanted to focus in conservation. And yes, the lecturers, the professors, everybody out there really tries to get you engaged. So I'm actually more active on campus now than I would have ever thought to have been. I never did that in undergrad. So it's been a great experience.
Okay, great. Well, delighted to hear that. Ollie has asked several things, but the first thing Ollie has asked was, to save funds, could you carry out a desk-based study? The answer to that is yes, and sometimes we have projects from policy partners that require very detailed trawling of the literature and synthesis of scientific papers. For instance, this year I'm supervising a student who's looking at the global importance of the marine biodiversity in the UK overseas territories around the world. And of course that's very important work that will feed into policy, but is totally doable here in Cornwall whilst managing, for instance, caring responsibilities or part-time work, or for some students who are trying to fight their way into a sector that they're relatively new to, perhaps to do some extracurricular placement activities, all very doable when you're doing a desk-based study where you're the master of your own time. So I think, yes, very much desk studied, but also like the one Rachel's doing, which is is lab-based, but based in Cornwall.
Yeah.
And then Ollie's also asked, what sort of networking opportunities are there in the first term? I don't know if maybe could ask you guys to comment. Emily?
So on the Marine Biodiversity and Conservation module, there were so many epic networking opportunities, to the point where the guest lecturers that they were getting to come in to talk to us, I was fangirling so hard over all the people that were coming in, because I wanted to meet them for so long, and I've been following their research for such a long time. So they really do get world-class people in to come and talk to you, and all of them are so happy for you to just grab them at the end, ask them any questions. I think even one of them, Heather Coldaway, has been taking a couple of students for research projects as well. She was one of those that I was fangirling over. So yeah, some really great people come in, and they're all so happy to help you.
Okay, well that's brilliant. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, in terms of social meeting with course mates as well, we had a couple of evenings right at the start where we interacted with, we had like a dinner, I think we had a curry, it was quite nice, got to meet some of the lecturers, meet all of our course mates. We did We also had a few other things, like we did a first aid course right at the start.
Oh, yeah.
So it's when we got to meet all our course mates in quite an informal setting, and got to know people. We also then went out to the pub.
Yeah,
We had different networking events that we organised amongst ourselves as well. So there's lots of that type of networking available.
And then also like there's like cross between the modules, like you end up making friendships between as well. So
Yeah.
it's not just like you're isolated in your own group.
Yeah, I mean, like, you do quality, we do the conservation biodiversity, and yet we all get to know each other,
Yeah.
and we all get along. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Do you think that covers it? So we're coming up to the end of time. Any other questions that come in, we'll answer online. But just one thing which, as you, as potential master students who are about to make this big jump in place and in finance to do a postgraduate degree, I think it's worth thinking about where this might lead you. And we have a fantastic track record of our students going on to wonderful careers. It's roughly a three-way split between going on to do PhDs, working in NGOs, or working in government or consultancy type roles in the UK or in other developed countries. But a fantastic diversity of roles, and in fact, as well as rolling out, sorry, I'm going to stand in front of you, I'm off the camera a wee bit. As well as rolling out profiles of our staff in the coming weeks, we also have had a series of blogs by our former master students who have been here doing conservation biodiversity, conservation science and policy like these guys, that have gone on to really exciting careers involving marine vertebrate ecology and conservation. And in fact, we can even hold one of them, two in fact, as lecturers. The early cohorts are now back and will be teaching this masters, but they did their masters here. So look out on the social media channels for the Centre for Ecology and Conservation and Exeter Marine. We're on all the major social media channels, and you can look at the blogs of our former students, and they can give you insights into why doing the master's here was so formative and what they've gone on to do. And I think that can be quite inspirational at this point in time when you're about to make the leap into postgraduate study. So, without further ado, I'd just like to thank these wonderful people for being nervous and up here on a stage, live, talking to a mobile phone on a stick. And thank you to the rest of you for attending, and keep your questions coming, either by email or on the post, and we'll get to them as soon as we can. Thank you very much.
Bye.